One Ring. The One Ring was the most powerful weapon of domination created in Middle-earth. Sauron forged it in the fires of Mount Doom during the Second Age, secretly placing much of his own power into it. Its purpose was to control the other rings of power and dominate their bearers. The ring could make its wearer invisible to ordinary sight, but its true danger was its ability to corrupt the minds of those who desired it. Destroying it was the only way to permanently break Sauron's power. Narsil. Narsil was the legendary sword of Elendil, the great king of the Dunedain who fought Sauron during the War of the Last Alliance. It was said to shine with light like the sun and moon, and Elendil used it during the final confrontation with Sauron. When Elendil fell, Narsil broke beneath him. Isildur then used the broken blade to cut the One Ring from Sauron's hand. The sword remained a symbol of the royal house for generations before eventually being reforged as Andúril. Andúril was the reforged sword of Narsil and became the weapon of Aragorn. Its name means Flame of the West, reflecting its connection to the ancient kings of men. The shards of Narsil were reforged in Rivendell before the Fellowship departed, restoring the weapon that had once been carried by Elendil. Andúril represented Aragorn's claim to the throne and the return of the ancient royal line. During the War of the Ring, Aragorn carried it into some of the most important battles of the age. Glamdring. Glamdring was an ancient elven sword forged during the First Age by the High Elves of Gondolin. It was originally wielded by Turgon, the king of Gondolin, before being lost when the hidden city was destroyed. Thousands of years later, Gandalf discovered the sword in a troll hoard alongside other ancient weapons. Glamdring could glow with a blue light in the presence of orcs, making it especially useful against the servants of darkness. Gandalf carried it throughout his adventures in the Third Age. Orcrist. Orcrist was another ancient sword from Gondolin and was known as the Goblin Cleaver. Like Glamdring, it was forged during the First Age and possessed a reputation for killing orcs. Thorin Oakenshield discovered it in the same troll hoard where Gandalf found Glamdring. The sword became one of Thorin's most recognizable possessions during the journey to Erebor. When Thorin was captured by the Elves of Mirkwood, the discovery of Orcrist helped reveal his identity and importance. Sting. Sting was a small elven blade, forged in the First Age, that Bilbo Baggins discovered alongside Glamdring and Orcrist in a troll hoard. Originally made as a knife rather than a sword, its size made it ideal for a hobbit, though it was still extremely effective against giant spiders and orcs. Like the other blades from Gondolin, Sting could glow blue when enemies such as orcs were nearby, giving its wielder an important warning in dark places. Bilbo carried it during his journey to Erebor, and later passed it to Frodo, who carried it through the dangerous journey toward Mordor. Sam later used it as well. Its importance came not from its size, but from its reliability and the courage of those who carried it. Aeglos. Aeglos was the famous spear of Gil-galad, the last High King of the Noldor in Middle-earth. It was one of the great weapons of the Second Age and was carried by Gil-galad during the War of the Last Alliance. Very little is known about its exact construction or abilities, but its reputation was formidable. Gil-galad used it while fighting alongside Elendil against Sauron's forces. Like Narsil, Aeglos became associated with one of the greatest military leaders of the Second Age, Gurthang. Gurthang was the black sword wielded by Turin Turambar during the First Age. It had previously been known as Anglicul, a weapon forged from a strange meteorite-like material associated with the mysterious Eol. The sword possessed an ominous and almost conscious nature, and Turin used it against many of Morgoth's servants. It became most famous during Turin's tragic final years, when he used it against the dragon Glaurung. Gurthang was ultimately involved in Turin's own death, making it one of the darkest weapons in Tolkien's mythology. Grond. Grond was the enormous battering ram used by Sauron's forces during the assault on Minas Tirith. It was named after the weapon of Morgoth, the great hammer of the underworld. Grond was designed specifically to break the massive gates of Minas Tirith and was carried into battle with tremendous effort. Its presence represented the overwhelming military power of Mordor during the siege. Eventually, the Great Gate was destroyed, allowing Sauron's forces to enter the lower levels of the city. Herugrim. Herugrim was the sword of King Theoden of Rohan. The weapon was an important symbol of the king's authority and his identity as a warrior. During Saruman's influence over Theoden, the sword was kept away from him while the king was weakened and manipulated. After Gandalf broke Saruman's influence, Theoden reclaimed Herugrim and returned to his role as a warrior king. He carried it during the defense of Helm's Deep, and later into the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, where he fought until his death. The Black Arrow. The Black Arrow was a special arrow belonging to Bard of Dale and was passed down through generations of his family. It was famous because it had been successfully used against Smaug, the dragon of Erebor. During the attack on Lake Town, Bard used his final black arrow to strike the exposed weak point in Smaug's body. The shot killed the dragon and changed the history of the entire northern region. Unlike magical weapons of enormous power, the black arrow was important because it was placed in the hands of a skilled archer at exactly the right moment. And that's where we'll wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Hit like, subscribe,